Hello.
Welcome, everyone, to the neighborhood.
Ding,
Look who's
ding.
back.
I'm
Ding,
back.
ding.
If you're wondering why I'm wearing the same hat I was last time, it's because
It's been a couple weeks, 2 or 3
2 or
weeks.
3 weeks.
Because Tara was last week.
I do think it's been 2 weeks.
Maybe it's 2 weeks. She really hasn't worn this every day.
I'd just say like 70% of the days.
Yeah.
It's a great hat.
Didn't you say a coworker commented?
Yeah, today I got, like, right before this, I got on a call with a coworker, and she was like, "Oh, you're wearing the same outfit the last 3 days?" And I was like, "Oh, you noticed." And, like, I saw her in person yesterday, and then on like, video call the day before, and then this morning.
Today. Yeah.
And but she noticed, and she's like, "Mental health check, how you doing?" And I was like, "Thank you for checking." I'm not well. I was like, socially, socially, physically, I'm fine. I was like, maybe a little bit mentally, emotionally, I'm going down.
Yeah.
I'm the last priority right now.
You're taking care of everybody else.
It's the house, the dog, the kid.
But you know what? Here's another point to make. When you work from home.
Yeah.
It's
people
easy
notice.
Well, do they?
I've been on.
First of all, thank you to her.
Yeah.
Because how many of you out there watching this have been on calls with coworkers and maybe they were wearing the same thing several days in a row and nobody said anything?
Like, listen, I put on a necklace and earrings thinking it would distract. No, she went right to it. She's like, "Listen, you're wearing the same shirt. Help me."
That's what she was crying.
I do need to shower. I'll be the first one to say it.
You don't smell.
It's a thick shirt.
Thick
shirt.
But you've been wearing the thick shirt for 3 days.
For 3 days. Well, I told her, I said, yeah, I was getting dressed this morning and thought I should shower, but I don't want to get another shirt dirty, so I'll just wear the dirty shirt. This is a very vulnerable telling episode already.
Yeah, already.
Thank you for loving me still.
Yeah, we still love you. And you look great.
See, I think so too.
You walked in here today, everyone was like, look how good she looks. And somebody you commented, I'm wearing my coffee hat again. So
it's a great hat.
Sam is here from our coffee cart.
Yeah.
Project.
Nope, state 38. Because Colorado
is the 38th state.
Which I knew it was the centennial state. Like, as in it was established 100 years after the America was. Like, it was 1876 was when Colorado became a state. Wow. So, like, I knew it was the centennial
state. Your children did pay attention in school.
I didn't learn that in school.
You didn't?
I think I learned that because, like, the quarters came out. Remember, I collected those quarters? I had a whole USA map, and it had a hole in every state for the quarter. And they came out, I don't know, it was like 20 years ago at this point.
Time ago.
And I waited for the Colorado, and it said the centennial state. And I was like, what does that mean? So you probably taught me that. And now, our dad. It's most likely dad. If it seems like something that belongs on Jeopardy, it was dad.
Yeah.
If it's like a weird street motto that you have to second guess where you're like, what do you mean swallow if you're thirsty?
That comes from me. Yeah. Street smart right here. Book smart and like hyper genius intelligence.
Dad. My dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Captain Kirk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
together they have very well-rounded children.
We do. Our genetics are good.
We're scrappy and smart.
Exactly. And thank you to who is the coworker that checked on your mental health?
Shelby.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Shelby.
What she doesn't also know, because I didn't want to explain, is a little vulnerable, is like, listen, when I find an outfit that looks good and I can wear it in multiple places because I can get multiple exposures, I'm going to do that.
Yeah, you're going to wear
it to work yesterday. Everyone's like, wow, great.
Who will wear the outfit, cut the tags off in the store and wear it out of the store and then wear it for an entire week.
Absolutely.
Or two.
I'm also, I'm an instant gratification girl. Yeah. So like when I get a new hat, I wear it for a long time. And then I get a new one.
Opposite from your sister.
Yeah, who has like clothes with tags in her closet for months. Because it's not the right moment.
She waits for the right moment. And we're like,
she would get a gift card and like years later spend it. I would get it and the next day I'd be at the store and spend over what it was. Yeah. So
spontaneous and impulsive. So we're here. We're here on this is our week of celebration.
Yeah.
Cheers to 5 years.
Because it is the 12th. So 10 days ago officially.
Yeah.
Was the 5-year our doors were open.
Right. And we interviewed Tara last week.
Who
was our longest member.
Yep.
Which we always joke about.
I know.
Our longest member. And she came in here. She's in Cancun or Cabo right now.
Oh, shoot.
I know.
Tara.
But yeah.
She came in before the doors opened.
You're right.
Officially.
We were talking about that. She came in when we still had cement floors.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Also, it dawned on us this week that it's been 2 years almost
Since we busted the wall.
last May, we got the lease signed
Wow.
for the expanded
Wow.
40,000 square feet. And then we broke open the wall and took the keys on June 1st. So, but almost 2 years ago,
Yeah.
which doesn't seem like it's been that long ago.
That
So
was an interesting day busting the wall down. There were a lot of emotions.
there was panic.
Yeah, there's panic.
Dread.
Can I tell the throw up story?
Oh, that was such a great story. I forgot
And I
about
won't.
that.
There's no names because no shame.
Yeah.
And we were all in our own season and time. Okay, so you know who you are.
You're watching,
We're all
you'll
punching
know.
the wall down. We have boxing gloves. We have hammers. We are ready to go. We are like so excited. We're all watching it. It's
Filming
the hallway. We're filming.
it,
We're like,
like-
oh my gosh, we have pink hard hats on.
Yeah.
Signs. We're ready to go. And someone next to me who was being directly impacted by the location of the wall bust.
Their office was going to be expanding.
Yeah, but not then when they found out the exact location of the expansion, it was less than they thought. So it was
not by
like
a lot, like
I mean a few feet,
a couple feet.
but
Anyway,
you know,
yeah.
revisionist history. And
Exactly.
so it's being busted down. I'm excited because I'm
Yeah.
like, holy cow,
We're like,
this
it's
is
happening. Yeah.
This person is not so excited.
Well, we didn't know that.
Well, so yeah, they come up and
We
they're
thought
like,
she was excited.
oh my gosh, I'm gonna throw up. And I'm like, oh my gosh,
I
me
know,
too. Like
it's
I'm
so
so excited. Like this is so crazy. And I look over and then I'm like, oh my gosh, you're upset.
Crying, yeah.
You're upset. I am so sorry. Like why are you gonna throw up from being so upset? And then it was like, oh, it's just like gonna change everything. We had all these plans. Like, listen, a lot of validity there. In hindsight, it cracks me up because I'm like, oh my gosh, you're gonna throw up. That's crazy. Me too. Like this is so exciting. And then I'm like, oh.
And then she's like, no, the office isn't gonna be as big as I thought.
So then it was just this moment of like, oh well, there's a hole in your wall, so there's really nothing we can do now.
And it ended up they got more space.
But because of some creative problem solving.
Which
so
always, whenever there's a
good
problem,
lesson.
there's like, hold on, before we start crying and throwing up all over the place, let's look at this because there's probably a creative solution. What if we don't build these two offices that were going this way and we make that your office part of it? And it turned out great.
It turned out great.
But that is kind of funny because
that's one of my favorite moments.
That was 2 years ago.
That's
like
crazy.
Right around 2 years ago. So we thought this is a good time to reflect back on what has been the impact that we've kind of been able to see over 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to talk about that today. And then we have lots of fun news stories for you. And
in fact, I hear the train taking us forcefully.
Oh, I do hear. Oh, there we go. Whoa. I jumped right on there.
Yeah, we weren't ready for that one.
So jumping on the trolley to head over to the newsroom because biggest news, in my opinion, Skype.
Oh,
R.I.P.
Oh, gee.
R.I.P.
Who had every opportunity during the pandemic.
Yes.
To jump.
To dominate.
We already had, I mean, again, for those of you who maybe know some background on Skype, like you're like, listen, what is it? Like our back end wasn't built for this.
2011.
Okay.
Skype came on the scene and Skype did away with something most young people don't realize. Skype did away with long distance phone calls because before Skype, you had to call people and dial their area code and pay extra money for calling Fort Collins or calling another state.
Even that city.
Yeah, even if it was a
state and
other countries, other states, and you had to pay long distance. Well, Skype came on the scene and everybody was like, "Oh, I'll Skype you." I remember we bought Grandpa a little
Skype
phone that he could see the video of us and he would hold
it.
But
you'd only see.
He should have just set it down, but he would hold it and you would just see the top of his head. Or sometimes his ear because he thought he had to hold it where he could hear it so we would see his ear.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then Microsoft bought Skype and this is where it all went downhill.
Interesting because Microsoft Teams.
Right. So that's what's happening.
Infrastructure. That's the word I was looking for. Like they had the infrastructure.
And they didn't continue to innovate. So there was the lesson is there's a couple things recently I've been talking about is in your business, do you continue to look for ways to innovate? Do you continue to look for ways to evolve? Or do we get comfortable and go like before we expanded, we're like, I mean, it's kind of good enough. Everything's going great.
You never say that.
No, but that's why. That's why. Because you know what? We'd be saying R.I.P.
Yeah.
if we didn't.
But you need the steady hand, and then you need the crazy pull. I can see you right here. I don't know if she knows that. She doesn't have her glasses on. I can
can't
see
it.
her.
Yeah, you're just a blur going. But Microsoft bought them and then stopped innovating. Let's just go there.
Yeah.
And so now Microsoft has Teams. And so what they're doing in May, next month, 2 months from now, they're going to shut down Skype and then everyone's going to be in
Are people
Teams.
still using Skype?
Well, yeah, they said I can't remember the number. It was like 300 million people still have Skype accounts.
A
And I was
man
like,
came up to me in a
"What?"
parking lot today asking me for money, telling me that he needs to call his family in India.
Did
And
you tell
I'm
them just to Skype them?
I know I wanted, and I was like, you need $11 to call them? I'm like, buddy, did you know that the internet, like
I
go
would
to
have
the
asked them, where are
library?
you going to make a call that costs $11?
Yeah.
That's what I would have asked.
I know, but
Is that to hook up a phone line, maybe a landline, and get service for the month to call them?
those are the moments where
Yeah.
it's all afterwards. I'm like, I have a million things I could have said
I
to you, but
should
in the
have
moment, I'm
asked.
like, I don't have any cash.
Do you have a
'Cause I
Venmo
don't.
account? I know.
I don't.
A lot of them say you can Venmo me, but all that to say, there's another product that Ben here and I were talking about, which maybe you've seen. People put these little pimple covers
Yes.
that are like stars.
Yes,
and
which is like,
sparkly.
hey, look at me. I have a
That's what-
zit. I
so
hate it.
I was questioning this going, so if you have a zit right here, are you going to put a star
I've seen it at the airport. They're everywhere.
on your face? However, good for this company who's doing it because they're dominating,
Yeah.
because everyone now has these. Even girls are buying them to put on their face when they don't have zits. They just put them on.
That I
They're like
get.
little
I don't get
decor.
why you would go pay extra for it to not just be a sticker, but it would be
Right.
like a skin
Well, I guess
zit
I'm
patch.
assuming it has medication.
It does. It's for, but if you don't have a zit, is what I'm saying. The
Right.
girls
Why
who,
wouldn't you just put a sticker?
but it is like, look at me. I
Yeah,
have
I
5
a zit.
zits, and
Yeah,
you're like,
so do you go to school with 5?
I mean, at the airport, I saw
stickers?
them like she's had like 2 here, 1 here, 1. Like I
Oh.
was like,
Wow.
no, I love your self care. I'm here for that.
I am too.
What I'm not here for is the idea that you're walking
putting
around
big,
like it's like
bright stickers,
attention.
pink and
But
gold.
again,
And
who cares? You
But-
do you.
made me think of, why is there this other company that came on the scene selling those? Why didn't Biore or like
yeah.
a Clearasil stickers? Like all these companies who already had who is the dominating acne company?
like
Clearasil.
Clearasil, yeah.
So why didn't Clearasil come out with stickers to hide your zits? Why didn't Band-Aid come out with zit medication? They have blister medication.
Listen, yeah, they're like, we're doing
They
fine.
stopped innovating.
We're doing
They
fine.
stopped innovating. So Microsoft
You
let
missed out.
Skype die.
I do like Microsoft Teams. I'll say it.
Really?
I don't mind it at all.
Wow, you've gone over to the dark side.
I
of-
don't notice a difference between that
IBM.
and Zoom.
You
Like,
have-
what
do you-
is it that you can't do?
I know. I think they're the same.
They're the same to me.
But you have to have Microsoft.
Yeah, but like I do now.
Yeah, and you're a PC person now.
And here's the thing, because it's all because it's Microsoft, so it's connected to like Outlook and everything,
Right.
which I will never love. I will never love Outlook. No matter how many times you ask me to survey and I write my feedback, I
You
will
hate
never
it.
love you. I love Chrome and I love Apple and I love Google.
I know.
But it is nice when you call, like Zoom is like log into your account and what's the Zoom ID and like all these things that I was like,
True.
it's a little much. I
Yeah.
can't just set up a Zoom thing real quick. I have to.
Which will be interesting to see. Can Zoom hold? Everyone right now says, I'll Zoom you. I'll send you a Zoom link. We'll jump on a Zoom call.
Yeah.
Which, again, 5 years ago, everybody was saying, I'll Skype you.
Yeah.
Until the pandemic, Zoom excelled. They innovated, came up with all this stuff. And now Microsoft is closing Zoom or closing Skype, but can Zoom hold on against Teams? That'll be what
Here's the thing, when you're stagnant, you're doing fine, and then as soon as somebody else tries to pass you, they've got the momentum. It's going to take you
It's- yeah.
longer and more
if
effort,
you're
and
not
it's going to be
innovating
futile.
when things are well.
Yeah.
It's like you
'Cause-
should be taking care of yourself, showering and doing all things while you're well.
Listen, I cleaned my house last night. That was
while
all I
you're
could
still
do.
eating radishes, and
I do have a
bean
bunch of
sprouts.
loose radishes in my bag right now.
that also concerns me.
Listen, I'm feeding myself. I'm trying to feed myself. I dip them in guacamole.
Radishes? God.
I ran out of hummus.
Radishes are too hot. They're too spicy.
No, these ones are. I don't understand. Sorry.
Well,
I don't
anyway.
understand. They're really good.
2 other quick news stories I thought were interesting
Okay.
to note is number 1, Buffalo Wild Wings. They're coming out with these goggles, VR, and you're gonna be able to watch, which I just thought this is a funny image.
Of
First of
someone
all,
eating
that you're
wings.
spending time in Buffalo Wild Wings.
Last time I was there, about a decade ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, people are going to be in Buffalo Wild Wings putting on goggles on their head,
What?
watching multiple games instead of just 1 or
No.
2 games in front
This
of you.
is how Wall-E becomes reality,
Yeah.
people.
Well, here's also my advice. Start stocking up on stain sticks because you have goggles on and you're eating wings.
Yeah.
It just, that makes no sense.
You're
But
like,
you're going to be able to watch multiple sporting events.
gosh, that is literally
It is a frightening thought.
America.
Yeah. America.
Like, nowhere else is doing that
America,
because
stop
they're
it.
like, that's
Stop
dumb.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was I thought that was a funny story. And then Southwest Airlines is going to start charging for bags. I know, which interesting.
Why?
I mean, revenue. It's all revenue. They're trying to.
But that was their whole thing.
And what's interesting. So that's my thought is your one differentiator.
Yeah.
Besides making people line up like cattle and just get on a
I
plane.
mean, yeah, I don't love the
that.
seat selection thing.
No, you have to do like that. Anytime we have to fly Southwest,
Yeah.
Dad's always like, pay the extra so you get.
I mean,
the first group,
when I've
whatever.
only traveled alone with Southwest, so I don't really care.
Yeah.
And I do try and get on as soon as I can, get a window, call it a day. I don't care how many
Yeah.
rows back, but I don't love that.
But the free bags, that was their one.
That was their one.
It was on their website. That's like their big thing. We don't charge for bags. Well, now they do. They're going to start charging for bags. So it's going to bring in $1.5 billion in revenue. However, they believe it's going to cost them 1.8 in market share. Billion. So it's going to be lost. Like their stock is going down because people choose Southwest because it's free bags. Like nobody wants to get on like a herd of cattle. I want to know that I have a seat at the window.
And here's the thing. I never check a bag. So I'll just find the airline that just is like have one carry-on is included. I'm like, great.
Which you know what? Right now, if you go to Expedia and you're looking for flights, Southwest is never on Expedia because you have to go to their site to book. Now they'll be on Expedia.
Yeah.
So now you're going to compete just on price. You're looking at price. So yeah, interesting.
Boo! Right as I started traveling with them.
True. Well, you're traveling for work. Why would you be caring about that? Sorry.
What do you mean?
Company, new company.
Because I hate checking bags. It is like 50% of the time you don't get it. Or you wait.
Not true.
At the stinking care. You have so many stories
I have
of losing losing your bag. So many.
And you know, if they lose your bags, you get a whole new wardrobe.
For free.
Makeup, underwear, everything. It's happened. But yeah, is it an inconvenience? Yes. And it's only happened a couple times. But I always check a bag. Even if I'm going somewhere overnight, I'm like, I'm not doing one of these schlepping bags up in the overhead. No, can't do it. Sorry, I'm not.
The nerve.
The nerve.
We call her infomercial mom. And let me tell you why. Because when normal people
have to carry your
when normal people put their bag up, even if it's heavy, they're like, that's maybe the excess amount. She is like, and then sits down and is like, and she is.
First of all, I have not done that because I don't carry on bags.
She acts it out that way. Like this is what it will be like. So she's the before in the infomercial.
And then to say, do you have to
how
carry on
it
your
gets
bag?
black and white or sepia, and it's someone trying to open a jar, and they're like.
With the new Twist-O-Matic.
That's her. So that was an infomercial moment.
Anyway, yeah. So Southwest. All right. Free bags.
Good.
I mean, I always fly United just because.
Is it good?
Yeah, I mean,
Delta, United.
Delta's good,
okay.
But Delta doesn't have as many flights coming from Denver.
Listen, I'm a scrappy, frugal young lady, and so I was for a long time Spirit Air or Frontier because I was like, I don't care, get me there, and just like pay me. I want to pay the least amount of money, and that's
great. Who Southwest was for.
And now they're not.
Nope. Sorry.
I bet they'll see a plummet. I wonder
no,
if
you know what you're going to notice in the next 5 years? You're going to turn into a diva. Because this is what happens when you travel a lot. You start going, you know what? No. Yeah. I'm not going to inconvenience myself. I'm not parking out in the schlepping far away lots.
I'm doing it.
And getting on a shuttle. No, I'm parking up close. And you're going to take easier flights, stay in nice hotels. Yeah, well, we'll see. So that's our news story. So let's jump back on the trolley. Let's talk about impact.
Let's do it. Because I see, I was reading your news. Oh, whoa. I did see something from eBay on there.
Well, Microsoft bought Skype from
eBay.
Yeah,
I didn't know
years.
eBay
had Skype initially.
which are both two companies that I'm like,
You would never think would have
well, I'm
that
like,
type of company, but
I'm surprised eBay's still around.
I just bought those salt and pepper
I
shakers for
know.
Bailey off eBay. Yeah,
It's very strange.
Yeah. interesting. Yeah, interesting. Does anybody buy stuff from eBay? I'm always looking for like really unique things for the village. Like I need a decor piece, like a 7-foot giraffe. I'm still looking for that.
You made a paper mache one back in the day.
I did. It was
We
pretty
named her
tall.
Esther. She was like 6 feet tall.
She was about 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
And what happened to Esther?
I mean, she was paper mache, baby. So when we moved,
Esther didn't make it.
I think
that
maybe
was the house
next snapped.
near Columbine.
Yeah.
Like when we moved from there to Roxborough
Yeah,
Park.
so 20 years ago.
It did. She
23
didn't make
years
it.
ago.
Yeah. But I found one online. They want $7,000 for it.
Is it real? Then what is it made of that is $7,000?
It's a 7-foot giraffe like statue.
$1,000 per foot.
And it holds a chandelier in its mouth.
All right, you've got me there.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Don't do it.
If anybody really wants to like donate to the village, that's one thing on my wish list I have not purchased yet.
These are the things where you're like, could we get better paper towel holders? No, those are $28. But we will spend $7,000 on a chandelier giraffe.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thinking of things that we've bought for the village and over the last 5 years, one thing I've been reflecting this year or this week on the impact this business has had on us. And just like when we first started, it was because we needed office space for our team. We didn't like the places we were finding. We thought, let's open a cool space. It'll be fun. We'll have offices. But it's interesting sometimes the impact you have with your community comes out of little cracks that you don't really know. It's maybe not the intention. Like when we built this, we knew community was important. Like we wanted fun people to work with every day. We wanted to be around innovative, creative people, but we didn't realize how much they would impact us.
Yeah, we were like, we're going to change your life.
Change your life because we're going to make a really fun place with giraffe chandelier holders.
But we didn't realize that it would be such an impact on us, which I can say now being gone from it consistently for 2 months, like I'm in it, but I was in it every day, knowing everything that was happening with
knew every person here, their family, their situation. And it's interesting looking back over the people who have come in here. And I think sometimes you just don't realize it's true with every single person, no matter if you're working, whether you're at home working, you impact people sometimes in ways you don't even know until, maybe you never find out.
Yeah.
You never find out that you offered encouragement to someone when they were really down, or you gave them a piece of advice that they actually took. And they really changed.
You give out a lot of pieces of advice. So who knows how many of those just stick in.
Most of them, I always say, a lot of times people are ask holes. I didn't cuss.
No,
ask.
She would never.
Holes. They ask for advice. They ask to pick your brain, but they never do anything with it. So you give them advice, it just goes in the hole. But there are times you impact somebody and you may never hear. Sometimes we do hear.
Yeah.
Like here, we've heard a lot of people tell us, like, this place has saved my sanity. It saved my marriage. It's a place where I can come and I'm encouraged. But I realized in the last week, just being more in that kind of retrospective mode, just the impact people in here have on each other, which has been so, I always say I stand at the door some nights and I just see like 2 people and they're helping one another with something. They don't even work together in the same business and they're helping them with.
Those are fun moments.
They are fun. And you're just standing there so grateful.
Because you're thinking, like, if we hadn't created this, you wouldn't have met.
Yeah, you wouldn't have met.
And this piece of your life puzzle wouldn't have like been in place and impacted you in whatever ways it always will. And it's just cool.
And it's very cool. And it's one of those things like, we always talk about Ben and Brandon, but it's like this week, just seeing, I love for some reason seeing the bro relationships here.
Because it's it's like as generic as this is going to sound, like women just flock to each other. They connect.
Yeah.
Even if it's shallow. Not like mean shallow, but like even if there's not a lot of depth to that, like
they chit chat,
you're just gonna chit chat.
They're happy to see each other. They compliment one another automatically.
Yeah.
think, offer encouragement, more likely to offer encouragement to one
Yeah.
another. But
Like,
guys kind of
cute
come in and
outfit.
keep to
How you doing,
themselves.
girl?
Yeah.
How's that thing? But guys are
Rare will
just
you hear a guy going, love that shirt. Although
but
I have
you do now.
Ben and Brandon have,
Yeah.
I've heard them actually
They're
say those
breaking
words.
gender
They're
norms, and we
breaking
love that for
gender
them.
norms. But they're also building relationships with people and forming
Yeah.
community that goes beyond us having anything to do with it.
Yeah.
Like there's people in here who have formed these little communities. I mean, Susie
Yeah.
at Safe, she's not at Safer.
Working with Safer.
She works with Safer, but Susie is a great example of she has impacted, and Brian, like they've impacted and formed these really sticky threads of community and impact with people. Like they've changed lives with people in here that they never would have met if they weren't here.
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
I know. I actually met somebody because Margie was playing with their dog in a field, and I started talking to them. They're insurance agents, some mortgage, something insurance, and they were looking at offices. And we kept talking, and I was like, I mean, have you considered co-working? And they were like, well, yeah, but there's one up here. I'm like, don't go there. I was like, go to a bunch of them and see which one. But I'm like, you immediately are meeting people for you socially
Right.
and for your business. Like immediately you have people who are going to refer you, get to know you, work with you. I'm just like, that is the coolest. I was in Florida last week and I was feeling isolated and I was like, I just need to go to a co-working space. And it wasn't that I went and talked with 100 people, but it just was like, I'm in this communal space. There's
It
just
was
something about it.
expansive in Florida, which is I mean, that
It
one
was
was
beautiful.
a beautiful space. I've been to the one in Denver.
Yeah.
It's right downtown, which is unfortunate.
Have you been to that one?
I have. Dad and I, actually, the first time I went to Expansive was we went to that concert. They had some jazz
with the candle
with
thing.
candles, like hundreds of candles all on the floor.
You've seen that on Instagram. It gets advertised all the time.
And we went to that and it was in the event, like atrium of Expansive in Denver. It was, and again, I haven't been there during the workday. Actually, maybe we did do a tour there at our co-working group.
I was impressed
but
and
you were
unimpressed.
at one that was beautiful looking.
Yeah, it was beautiful looking.
You didn't like all the glass.
It was very fishbowl-y.
Yeah,
but
I don't like that.
It was, and there wasn't like a large footprint. So, but it felt larger because it's all glass. So you're seeing into the atrium. It was great.
It was really pretty.
It really, let me tell you, it really depends on the community manager.
True.
Like they set the tone.
True.
Like if they're gonna walk you around, if they're gonna ask you about yourself, if they're gonna, if they're just.
Did you have that experience?
No. Like nice person, but they're just like, all right, well, let me know if you need anything, and they're like, all right, not even gonna ask me what to do because I owned one of these. And
you're like, I
have,
know
like,
how
lots
you
to talk
should
about
be
with you.
asking about me.
Yeah.
And what I like.
What do you
and
do? What are you doing
and
here? And
let me introduce you to somebody. That's one thing here I always feel like is one of my strong points that I make here with our team is when somebody walks in the door, you must connect them to at least one person.
So you get to know something about them, where they're from, what they do for work, do they have kids, like where do they live?
I mean, again, we have people in here, we call them ambassadors. I mean, they don't have a job except that they're great connectors.
Yeah.
Unwritten. I know, Brandon, you're still waiting to be paid for this job, but it doesn't pay.
It will never come.
It'll pay in dividends of heartwarming connections that you're making here. But I know who in here I can connect them to, and immediately they'll shepherd them. They'll come alongside and ask, what are you doing for lunch? Or, hey, come over here. I want to introduce you to another person. And that type of community is so critical because I just look back over the last 5 years and think, this is what I was missing for 20 years working from home in marketing. It was one of those things. It was just sad. I remember hating owning that business because it was just lonely.
You're on calls with people all day. And you still feel lonely.
I traveled a ton alone to speak at conferences, and I still would come home and be in the office and something great would happen. And I'd be looking around going, I just want to tell somebody. Like I want someone to be excited with me. Or you'd lose a client and you just want to go out and talk about something else and not have to focus on the problem.
Yeah.
And when you're working at home, that's a really hard thing. I don't care how beautiful your office is at home and how cushy that chair is.
Whenever people come in here and be like, oh, or like, have you ever thought about, they're like, I have a gorgeous home office. That's awesome. I bet you're super lonely. So you should probably come in here.
Yeah. And I just think it's still today, they say it's the number one problem in our society today, not just in the US, but I mean, in the UK, they have And even in the UK they have, I think, a ministry of loneliness, and a minister of loneliness.
Dangerously close to Harry Potter terms.
It is. But their job is looking at this problem, this epidemic that we have of our youth growing up, working from home, spending time on their computers, being isolated. I heard another stat from Scott Galloway, a podcaster I love listening to on Pivot, and he was talking about how many men, like young men in their, I want to say it was late 20s, it might have even been early 30s, who have never asked a woman out in person.
Wow.
And it was like a weird stat that I was like,
I'm actually not shocked by that.
That's shocking.
I have a 34-year-old friend who has never asked a woman out in person. Been on lots of dates. Always on an app.
Always from an app. Yeah.
Very nervous in person.
Yeah. And I just see, you see that of the social awkwardness and just the inability to look someone in the eye, to communicate. We had the kids come from the high school again 2 weeks ago, and they came and toured, and they were interested in wellness careers. And so I just started talking to them, and I was looking around the room at them, and how few of them would look you in the eye.
Or when they
they look down, or they weren't on their phones, because we said right away, like, everybody put away your devices, because we had to tell them that, because that wasn't an obvious thing they had learned at that point, and they're all 17.
But here's the thing. Their parents, most of them, not judging, just assuming, which is still just as bad.
I'm judging. Yeah.
But it's like,
they do it.
There are and what do you do when you're 3 years old and you can finally hold your own iPad? They get them a little padded iPad, all rubbered up with their little Amazon Fire, the little iPad, and that's all they do when they travel.
Paw Patrol and Bluey, but
and that's why she doesn't go.
That's
why my daughter doesn't go to her house all the time.
To visit very much.
I'm like, oh, okay. Well,
Bailey's gonna have her kids at our house all the time.
All the time.
Here,
do whatever you want.
Night.
Yeah. But it's like we can't blame them.
True.
Because it's I think it's changing now with my generation of parents, as in like us as parents. But because when we were young, we didn't have like iPads to carry everywhere and never have to interact with anyone.
You didn't have phones.
But like at restaurants, it's really important that Ophelia orders her own food.
Which I love that.
At the waiter and she says, "Here's what I want."
Sunday, she did a great job.
I know, and I'm no longer. I'm like, you can read the menu, tell them what you want.
Don't look at me to order your food. Yeah, parents, stop enabling your kids.
Because what else? Like if you're sitting on an iPad, then engage. They just have. So then they're 17, they're 30, they can't talk to people. Then they're isolated,
and then they get a job that's remote, and they do everything online, and they turn
date
their cameras
online,
off and they're on team calls, and it's like they don't know how to connect. And I just feel like it's such a scary thing to think about in the next even 10 years.
Yeah.
What's going to happen when that generation of kids, I mean, it's just going to be so normal to do everything remote. And so I just feel like co-working, it's not about the office, people. It's not about how beautiful your office is. Yeah, you want a place that looks and feels wonderful to
even
come
how
into.
Beautiful it is in here.
Yeah.
Like, it is not like when come in and get a desk, get a tiny office, get something, be around people. Don't come in and just shut your door. But
and we have had people doing that. They'll say, "Oh, remember the one woman, she came in because she wanted community. Then she picked an office away from everyone and never came out of her office and ended up leaving because she said she never got to meet people."
We're like, oh, you never came out. We were ready.
Yeah.
So but one thing I've learned over the last 5 years that has to do with impact and community is one. Well, there's three. I'm like, this is like your news stories. Okay. You take over during the news. It's my turn. Okay.
It's like the steroid guy who said, "I have one word for you. Arnold Schwarzenegger."
And you're like,
too many steroids. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have taken no steroids that I know of. And,
but she is wearing the same outfit.
But I am wearing the same outfit for 3 days, but you didn't know that until I told you.
True.
So except my coworker who's like, poor girl.
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, it's a good outfit. And you don't know that, but it's like, it's a full thing. There's boots. There's
you do have different
jeans.
pants on.
I do.
You had black pants on last time you were here.
See, thank you. Okay. So one, I've learned that it is very much like you want to forcefully build the community. Like, I really want you to be here. I really want you to be here. I don't want you to be here, but you just have to very loose hand approach. Let people tour. And you are very authentic. Yeah. You're like, this is who we are. This is what our space is about. These are our priorities. And people, I feel like there were at the beginning, we try and morph to sell an office. We'd be like, oh yeah, it's very, very heads down focused. Feels like someone, but then they would be annoyed within a month. And so you're just like,
it's too loud. It's too social.
Be authentic. don't worry about like selling the office as much as building an authentic community. And the more authentic you were, the more people who would come that would fit that really well.
Yeah.
And then that builds and builds and builds.
And then all of a sudden they start attracting their type.
That's one. Two is I've lost them all at this point. They've jumbled. But the other one is like it's part of that is like having a little bit of humility too. Like we came in being like, we're gonna change the people's lives in here, are like we're and we have, but I think it was
build co-working the way it's never been built before.
Yeah, and it's like, but the humility of being like, okay, we did do an awesome thing. We built this space, we've created this opportunity, and now it's out of our hands.
I always say we opened the building, we took the risk to open a building.
Mm-hmm.
It's the people who came in
that
built
the community.
This family. I mean, it's like everyone in here. Yeah. When they come in, we spend time getting to know them. Like, oh, there's some new people here that I'm just loving getting to know them and seeing them. I have to tell the story because Josh and Dave, I don't know that you've even met them. So Josh is a home appraiser, and then Dave is an estate and tax attorney. Their offices, a match made in heaven. Their offices are next door to each other. Okay, Josh, right away, his wife. Dave, we gave him a hard time because no decor in his office. So every time we would tour somebody, they would look in his office. They go, "Oh, I'll take this office." And we go, "Oh, it's taken." They don't believe us because it's an empty office with a desk and a chair. Dave had nothing in his office.
Does he know?
Yeah, he knows. I've been
does
telling
he now?
Oh, not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, because he uses meeting rooms more than anything. But then Josh moves in next door.
Yeah.
And I tell Josh, "Look, Josh, the guys in here usually need some help. You need to get your office with something in here. Otherwise, people think there's nobody that works in here. Like put a picture of your dog or your family, something." Yep. So Josh's wife goes and buys. She went to Hobby Lobby and pretty much bought out the home decor area.
Wow. But it's always 50% off. So it's
always 50% off at Hobby Lobby. So his whole office has the matchy, like all the pictures. It's funny. And then he has the little L desk set up this way, and it looks beautiful in it. You walk in, you're like, wow, this looks like it came out of Hobby Lobby's office area. Josh, he wanted an L desk like Josh's. I mean, like David wanted a desk like Josh's. I said, "I'll get you one." So we brought it in, we put it, and I was like, "I guess just set it this way." And then I told him, I said, "Dave, feel free to move it however you want." He goes, "Oh no, that's how Josh has it." Oh, so I'm going to put it just like, he goes, "I want my office just like Josh."
Like,
and then he told Josh, he said, "Josh, where'd you get all the art?" And Josh said, "I'll give you the receipt to Hobby Lobby so you could go get the same." So now we're teasing Dave, saying pretty soon Dave's going to come in dressed like Josh. He's going to buy a new car exactly like
what
Josh.
I love is that the image of Dave going into Hobby Lobby and being like, "Can you just bring all of these things to the front?
Because I'm going to make my office look." So now we're teasing him, going, we're going to take Josh's family photo and we're going to copy it and put it in a frame on Dave's desk.
And they'll have the same lunch.
It's just so great because those two, you would never, ever in a million years think, oh, these two will know each other and become buds. And there's like this little bromance going that I love.
Our second bromance.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's been more, but the second prominent one.
But it's really cute.
And the last thing I'll say is like looking back, it's been, you know what? I kind of already said this in a different way, but my main thing that I've loved looking back is how much, like what I've learned is if any other risk I'm taking, I hold personally, I can't speak for you. Please answer what you think. But I hold things so tightly. Like I'm like, this is the vision. It will be this way. It will operate this way. We'll have this many offices. It will look like this. We'll have these. And this is what it will be like. But it has been such a forceful open hand.
True.
5 years where I'm like, this is the way it's going to be. But if you would have asked me 5 years ago where it would be today, would not be this.
We would never.
Not because this is bad. But I would be like, there's no way we'll get there, or that's not what I have in mind, or that's not where we have the direction going. But it's been like opening the event space, opening the wellness. None of that was on our radar.
No.
But we just kind of like evolved. We heard the need. Yep. We saw it be a necessity. We saw people want it. And we're like, I guess we could.
I mean, it's kind of crazy to think now we have like this chiropractor, physical therapy, tattoo artists, estheticians,
how's your
Reiki.
Tattoo?
My tattoo is kind of like the ink has lifted off.
Yeah. Because she didn't take care of it. She didn't take care of it.
Sorry. Listen to the tattoo person, put the plastic.
If you get a tattoo, it does not matter how small or how insignificant you think it is. You put Aquaphor on it 5 or 6 times a day.
I did it once a day.
Like one time.
Yeah. So
we have a
but you know
tattoo
what?
artist.
You know what I love about what you said though is I think that also comes into play for people who are very much, I have a plan, I have my goals for the year, and this is I will stay the course.
It doesn't work. It doesn't
And
work that way.
sometimes, yeah, maybe there's something bigger and better
Yeah.
that will develop if you let it kind of take you like a river
Mhm.
instead of I'm going to build a road through here versus the river's
Yeah.
going to take you this way, and you're going to end up in a much more beautiful place.
Yeah, if you've got your blinders on, you're
Yeah.
not going to see what's on the side being like, "Hey, you could do this instead, or you could add this, or you could meet this person, or you could use this opportunity." But
Embrace the squiggle.
you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, embrace the squiggle.
Embrace it.
Yeah, so it's been an amazing 5 years. Like, it's changed our lives. We have this amazing community of people that I just love so much. I mean, I just look out at every person and go, "Wow, I just love seeing the community, the family that's built here, that people come in and people tell us, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to stay in my office because my business isn't doing well, but I need to be here." And we're
Mhm.
like, "Yes, we need you here. Move to a smaller office. That's the beauty of
Mhm.
co-working, or move to an open desk. That's the beauty of
Yeah.
co-working." Like, nobody's gonna shame you.
No.
It's like we're all here
We're
to
just
help
glad you're
you
here.
and come around you and help you build it, so then you're gonna go back into a bigger office. But, yeah, being around the community is so critical for your mental health, or I just think it just helps your business. You start hearing best practices from other
Mhm.
people and you're like, "Wait, I never thought about doing that."
Yeah.
I was talking to Katsu yesterday. Never would have thought. He started his own CPA business.
Just recently got
Just
certified.
recently. He's a financial
Controller.
he's a controller, I think,
At
Jotform.
Jotform.
And so if anybody from Jotform's listening, maybe you don't want to know that he started his own CPA firm.
Yeah. Shoot.
No, he said they know.
He's the best.
But he's wonderful, and he was asking for advice on how to market this new business, and so we were talking about, "Okay, here's your
And you can
assignment." I
do
gave
that.
him homework. I said,
Just
"Sit down.
Yeah.
Here's your homework to get this going." And it's just fun to see
Mhm.
his wife is pregnant with their third. We have a
Cute.
lot of guys in
Third
here
girl.
who are ready to have babies.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's gonna have his
Their
third
wives
girl.
are.
Their wives are.
Yeah.
Yeah, fun. No women. Oh no, Gabby's pregnant. We have
Who's
one
Gabby?
woman from the Legoyne, or from Legacy Group.
Oh,
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have one woman who's pregnant that we know of, and 3 or 4 guys
that they know of.
whose wives are pregnant. Yeah. So it's fun.
Wow.
It's fun to just see the community grow. It's been a fun 5 years.
Yeah.
Looking back, and if you haven't been here, I mean, tomorrow, if you're watching this and you're in Denver, be here tomorrow.
Yeah, I see Mia Voss on here.
Oh,
Say
Mia.
Ivy, Jen, Alexa, who's here, and we love
Yes.
her.
And all of you had a big role
Big
in
role.
this. Really a big role in this place. Mia, you were here when we were painting on the walls.
You're in your French bulldog.
You and your little Frenchie.
And I have a picture of
Gidget.
Gidget and Ophelia when she was 1.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I guess she was 1.5 or
Yeah.
2. But
So
yeah.
yeah, come on down tomorrow, 2 to 6. We're gonna be partying.
Oh, it is 2. That's the official time.
It is 2 to 6.
You kept saying all day.
Well, that is all day.
It's not. It's mostly afternoon and evening.
2 to 6. Be here. We're gonna have a DJ. We're gonna have mezcal tasting, limoncello, ginger cello
might
shot.
Bring my daughter. Now that I know it's till 6.
Is she out of school?
No, but we'll talk about it.
Yeah, okay. In case her teacher's watching.
With Gidget and Ophelia, so cute. That's what Mia said.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like
it's fun.
Jen toured around at the very beginning.
Very beginning.
Ivy's been here, and we've had you in so many rooms, in so many places, and so many coffee things I forgot for you. So
Oh gosh. But Ivy, we love Ivy.
we love
because
Ivy.
Every time Ivy would come, everything looked better than when she got
Yeah.
there. When she left, I was like,
Best.
dang, I need her to work
So
here.
many fun. Like when
Ivy
I go
moved to
back, I'm like,
Denver.
wow, so many people
Yeah.
that have been through here and that have truly will be
Impacted
stories
us.
I tell forever.
Yeah.
So
Ivy, we love you. And we love all the high fashion women that come in
oh
to every
gosh,
one
they
of your
look so
events.
good.
Yeah. Ivy would drive up from the Springs.
I
And
bet
the
they don't
next
wear
day
the same
she's-
outfit 3 days in a row.
So until next week, and we'll share like some fun stories of people singing karaoke, I'm sure tomorrow.
Oh yeah, there's some good ones. I have videos.
We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for jumping on board with us in the neighborhood, and we'll see you guys soon.
Bye.